Welcome to ArtISts Connecting. I'm Debby Coles-Dobay. Art moves you. I'm a creative arts consultant, and I also consider myself a visual artist, a marketer, and a public art professional. Well, I believe I had a little bit of a talent when I was a child, and I really wanted to continue with that talent and to really showcase my creative abilities. I think I got some of that from my mother and father. Basically, my mother was an artist, and she was also, later in life, she was a stained glass artist. And my father was a creator, an inventor of some magical things and many practical things. And so going to school, I was always in art classes. I had wonderful mentors that helped me to progress into some classes that maybe were out of high school into college classes, and really helped me hone in on my professional skills as an artist. And then I decided to go to school, of course, and I found myself at Queens College, CUNY in New York, and took many artistic classes there, and then I transferred down to Florida, and I graduated with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts from FAU. During that period, I had to put myself through college. So again, being very creative, I said, how am I going to do this? Part of what I did was focus on ways to substitute, my income to live in South Florida, which I found a beautiful home for my place to stay while I did my work anywhere I wanted to. And then I decided to create things, like I did logos, I did marketing materials for companies. So that kind of got me onto this kick of, substituting and doing my physical work to get paid, as well as doing my creative work for my visual arts. And then once I graduated with my Bachelor's of Fine Arts, I found myself applying to the Palm Beach Post. And I got a job there in the advertising department. That was pretty amazing study because you have 2 deadlines a day. And what you really got to do there is, here's a client that comes in, they want to advertise. You have to create those advertising pieces for them, like twice a day. Now, those are the days before computers. So I had to either draw or sketch, typeset. Sometimes we had to use layers and cut acetate for your colors because we didn't have a computer to work with. So those were the days of hands-on. So that really honed a lot of my drawing, my creative, and my composition skills really well. I also worked in the promotional department. To me that was a really great expression for how do I help market the Palm Beach Post. So that's kind of where I wanted to move into that department. That didn't happen for me. So in the meantime, I said, well, I want to increase, what it is that I do. My capabilities are looking for another opportunity for those outlets. So I applied to the Coley & Company, one of the most prestigious ad agencies in Palm Beach County, at that area, pretty much South Florida. And I became in-house creative director. So I was really happy to work on campaigns such as Polo, Jonathan's Landing, United Technologies, Aero. So many different clients that were really prestige clients. I got to work on Northbridge Center. These are really great opportunities for me to learn about TV, print, television marketing. And of course, those are the things the skills that I gained and already had to be able to accomplish those and successful campaigns for these companies. Then again, this is a day and age of the 80s where, when you're in an agency, it was kind of opulence, a little bit prestige, and, the days of the martini lunches. And I got to the point where it's like, I don't really feel like I'm servicing the account very well, because of the overhead and all this other posturing. So I decided to branch off with another rep, and we had some clients that wanted to work with us directly. And so we started our own business again. So From there, I started to work with clients such as Aero Toy Store, Goodwill Industries, Winoka Style. These are some, international companies that do a lot of work just because they happen to be in Palm Beach County or even Broward County. So I started working with them quite a bit. And then from there, I was introduced to the owner of Banana Boat Skin and Sun Care. That's Sun Pharmaceuticals. And did some work consulting with the brand for about a year or so. And he's like, wow, we really need you in-house. At the time, they had distributors around the world. And what his vision was to bring the brand national. And to do that, you really need to hone in on what all of these distributors are doing, their own individual promotions, their own individual advertising, marketing. Of course, we were distributing the product out of the home base here in Pompano, but the campaigning and the messaging that we needed to unite all these distributors across the globe, needed to happen at the national basis. And so that's why he brought me in-house. Not only did I work on the brands, what type of products that were going to come out, the packaging, how it looked, the merchandising, the marketing materials for sale in and sell through, two different things, as well as doing print and television and radio campaigns on a national basis. So I really enjoyed doing that work because, again, my creative abilities really got me to think a little bit differently. And then working in this entrepreneurial spirit of the brand, it was so much fun to come up with crazy ideas or fun ideas or something totally different. And it was really appreciated. So the sun care business of Banana Boat Skin and Sun Care went from a regional brand to a national brand and a global brand, the third largest in the world. So the brand was sold to Playtex Family Products up in Connecticut, and they wanted the executives, I was one of the executives, they wanted executives to continue with the brand. So the brand managers really all liked my creative thought process, and they wanted me to be like a parallel individual to all their brands to help with some of the things that they were challenged to do. And from there, I basically said, well, that's great, I would like that position. The president said, no, we don't have that. So from there, I looked at 3 other offers in the company in different departments. And I was very, flattered, but at the same time, I had other companies like Panama Jack and other sun care companies and other brand companies that are coming to me said, hey, could you do this for us on a consultant basis? So back into my next business, Creative Marketing Impact, and I started to, again, help brands get into mass market distribution or to start out their line of products. And again, I worked with companies who maybe were located, not even in South Florida, they were located one was in Minnesota, one was in South Florida, one was in Israel. So I had, companies all over the globe that I represented their marketing and sales and try to really get them into these distribution channels that was their mission and their goal. So one of the brands was Flexitol, the other was Kids Choice, which was a really fun brand to work on. As I was doing that type of business, the world of getting deeper distribution and the impact on the manufacturers was all about sales, not about marketing. But if you don't have marketing, you're not going to be invited back to do your sales. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, ugh, I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. Hey, I've lived in Boynton Beach. Why don't I check out what's going on in the city? For 14 years, served the city as the public art manager. It was a really great time because, again, you have this baby, which is the ordinance, which is the public art program, and it was just beginning. So how do you need to give it a start to let it grow up. So I didn't really expect to be there for that time, but I really enjoyed every minute of it. It was very hard work, but at the same time, I found myself applying all the skills that I've learned throughout my career. Throughout the years, we had an Avenue of the Arts program, a rotating sculpture program that we had executed on a yearly basis. And at one point, I met up with an international kinetic artist, Ralfonso, and he was sharing with me what he wanted to do in West Palm Beach. And I said, let's bring it to Boynton. So that was the birth of the International Kinetic Art Exhibit and Symposium. And that was the name of the official name at the time. So this was in 2013, our first year. So what we took is the Avenue of the Arts and then rotated out the sculptures to be kinetics. And we had iconic kinetic artworks on the Avenue. So you're talking about 12, huge kinetic pieces that were outside for everybody to enjoy, year round. And then the other element of that was to bring in lectures, to bring in educational sessions, to connect with the community, and then do an indoor exhibition as well. We're here in the city of Boynton Beach on East Ocean Avenue and Seacrest. It's the southwest corner. This amazing kinetic artwork. It's called Reflections. This is by Ralfonso. This is a gateway feature to the whole town square. So the town square is for all the community to enjoy, right? So Reflections is a reflection of our whole entire city community. So you have 3 of these moving. That's the idea of the whole community being coming and welcome to this one space. Plus, if you look at the base of it, these yen-like structures that I created for the seating arrangement was very instrumental to reflect the wings above, so it connected from the base to the wings. And what it does do is it gets people to be able to seat on there, to have a place to rest, to gather. And we always say, meet me at the Kinetics. Now we're in the southeast corner of
Federal Highway US 1 and Ocean Avenue in Boynton Beach. And this is the fabulous Albert Paley Cavalcade. So the developers of this 500 Ocean project all decided to have their own contests with which artists they wanted to choose to do the project. And basically Albert Paley won because he had such a great insight to this location. The water's right over the bridge, how the city's on the left, and how the colors that he added to this made it look like a motion, even though it is a stationary sculpture. So he's one of the foremost well-known artists internationally. This is a 40-foot high steel piece, and it's painted all these wonderful colors. So another great story, when this project was being developed, it was created in Albert Paley's studio up in Rochester, New York. And when they shipped it down, you can just imagine looking at this laying down on 2-3 flatbeds, driving all the way in the winter from up north. So when it was assembled and put on site, the other really magical part of it is Albert Paley loaned us 8 more sculptures along the Avenue of the Arts. So it connected from Boynton Beach Boulevard and Seacrest all the way down to here to celebrate the permanent piece that he was going to leave behind, the 40-foot Albert Paley. And then we did a whole Avenue of the Arts tour, celebration, open night where Albert Paley was present himself. We're now in the town of Lantana, Centennial Park, and this sculpture is called Centennial, and it's for their celebration of 100 years. Now, it's situated in a plaza that was created by the art project. The artist, Fidio ID, out of California, decided to create this whole space for the town, and it's a little of an abstract piece because it showcases a compass. So if you look, there's a plaza that has compass and benches are north, south, east, west. There's the lantana flower, which is embedded into the plaza itself. And then the sail and the boat made out of cement with the 100. So these letters, if you look at a certain angle, you will see that they are 100. It's steel cladding. So the concrete had to be very carefully formed and poured to create this shape, this intricate shape. And then we have the fabricators are Southern Custom Art and Iron and Van Linda. And when they created this piece, these are galvanized pipes. And then again, what they do is they take and they cut specific panels and have them powder coated off site, brought back and installed. And inside of each one of these sections of the sail is lighting. So you have LED lighting, so at night this whole piece totally glows. It's gorgeous at night. So it's a beacon from the water. So what it's doing is it represents to the town of Lantana the essence of Lantana, which we're just talking about, a compass for the future of the city, or I should say the town, and also its heritage and its history, being close to the water and its sailing community, its fishing community, its connection to the water. So it really encompasses all about what the city represents from the past and the history to the present and into the future. We're in Lantana, and this is a private development project called the Water Tower Commons. It's West Lantana Road, 1001 West Lantana Road. This is the main entrance. This sculpture is, again, created by the artist team in California, a Fidio ID, and then the fabricators were Southern Custom Iron and Art and Van Linda.
My work originates in this area where you see very formal, very realistic art. And that I think I've accomplished, and I'm pretty good at that. However, in my strive for moving forward into getting a little bit looser, I'm trying to do more work that has elements of more expression into it. So these are things that I've done in the past that are inspirations from, this is actually an inspiration from a public art project that was given to me. But so I consistently try to make it more loose and flowing. This is a recent picture of my husband. Again, a portrait, but still try to keep it loose and have fun with it. And I've also been doing some plein air painting, which to me, the idea of plein air is that you have to capture the light. You have limited time to be able to do a composition and to paint outdoors. So to me, that makes it a little bit more challenging. So I do like the idea of putting down the imagery and the colors and capturing that quickly. But again, my true love being in public art, what do? I paint the sculptures that are out there in the environment that I really enjoy. So these are a couple of plein air works that I've done in the past. But all of this is really my evolution into painting more abstract work. So again, progressing into my abstract work, still working on some realistic references. Again, loosening up and using the techniques that I discover in plein air painting, and then also working on different mediums. So, this type of piece can kind of go many different ways. And this was actually inspired by an artist that I really admire his abstract work, which is Craig McGinnis. Not quite his style, but kind of, inspired me. And then again, this shows quickness, color, composition, just putting it down. And it's a little, the colors are very vibrant. Beach walk inspiration. This is a abstract that I created, but that's an inspiration from what I love in nature, is the eucalyptus bark. So to me, again, I get a lot of inspiration from nature. What does art mean to me? Well, it means how creatives see and experience the world around us. It's how we interpret it and the medium we use, and then the intent of the context of the work then becomes art.